WrestleMania 36, Part 1. This show really surprised me. Well, in my opinion, this show kinda suffered from being taped in the Performance Center because it just didn't feel big enough and honestly felt like Raw we saw for the last 4 weeks. Oh, and 30 finishers, no selling. What is happening? What am I watching? Braun! That honestly shocked me. All that aside, this match, this thing, whatever that was, gets a big fat 10 out of 10. I approve, Mark approves, casual fan approves, and I'm pretty sure you approve as well. It would be unfair for me to say that this show did not suffer from not having a crowd because like I've said, it just didn't feel special enough. And I think the biggest mistake was having this show at the Performance Center. I don't know how to review these matches because we don't have a crowd. It's hard to tell which match was actually very good, which match was just there, and which match was great. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who feels that way. I guess the best matches on the show are these matches that made you forget there's no audience. And this right here was the greatest thing I've ever seen. I wish WWE did more cinematic stuff instead of, wrestling in Performance Center. This way, it would be one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time, but now it does feel like Monday Night Raw we saw for the last 4 weeks. If Undertaker vs AJ Styles was so good, imagine the potential for John Cena vs Bray Wyatt. Now, during part 1 of WrestleMania, we got some of the weakest matches of the show. We did not get Randy Orton vs Edge, we did not get Brock Lesnar vs Drew McIntyre, Cena vs Wyatt. Most of the important matches are going to happen today. At first, I was kinda disappointed. Now, once I saw the pay-per-view, I'm good. I'm gonna watch WrestleMania tonight. So welcome to my WWE WrestleMania 36 review, Part 1. Let's start with the Kickoff show. In the Kickoff show, we got Cesaro vs Drew Gulak, in which I was sure that Drew Gulak is going to win the match. Now, this was the first time we saw the stage, and I was very disappointed because, like I've said many times, it looked exactly like Monday Night Raw with new Trons. The match was surprisingly good in my opinion, especially the last moment. While I did enjoy Cesaro doing this with no arms, okay, that's pretty impressive, not gonna lie. I'm kinda disappointed that that's how he basically won the match. He didn't even need a finisher to beat Drew Gulak. That was kinda disappointing in my opinion. Let's talk about the main show, and the show kicks off with Stephanie McMahon welcoming us to WrestleMania. Then we got a very long video package of WrestleMania with Gronk. I think it was Gronk, man. I think Gronk made it special. It was a bit funny, it wasn't a very serious intro. I kinda dig it. Of course, we got Gronk and Mojo Rawley hosting the show. I'm also glad we got Michael Cole and JBL on commentary, even though we got more commentary teams during the show. But like I've said in part 1, we got some of the weakest matches of the show. The show kicks off with the WWE Women's Tag Team Titles match, the Kabuki Warriors versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Nothing against that match, but I don't really feel like this was a right way to kick off the show. The moment itself was, maybe, but I believe we should have gotten a ladder match because, you need to make sure that this feels like WrestleMania, and this match didn't make me feel like it's different from Monday Night Raw. So we got the match. It was decent, it was hard to care for me because I don't like the rivalry, and let's be honest, the rivalry isn't even there. But we got a Twisted Bliss to Zayn, and Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss won the WWE Women's Tag Team titles at WrestleMania in the first match. I guess WWE were going for that, big babyface pop to kick off the show, but in my opinion, it didn't really work because the match wasn't even that good in the first place. And, nobody really cared about the rivalry. The second match was Elias versus King Baron Corbin. Before the match, we got a little brawl and Elias hit Baron Corbin with a guitar. I'm just glad that Elias is alive after SmackDown. That's all I'm gonna say. A match that doesn't really look like belongs on WrestleMania. Maybe that was the biggest mistake of this show, having two unimportant matches to kick off the show. Another issue is that something we got a lot on the show, by the way, we got a bunch of roll-ups and people barely winning matches, so that's how we got Elias winning the match. We got a roll-up for the pin, and Elias wins the match. Does it even matter though? Is Elias looking more strong right now? I don't think so. And it's not like it matters who's gonna win the match, so just give us a clean finish. Nobody cares if Baron Corbin or Elias is going to lose. It doesn't really hurt their reputation. So after this match, I was like, okay, this is not looking good, and hopefully we're gonna get something better. We get bad matches a lot. But when it's at WrestleMania, it almost doesn't really matter because the atmosphere, the pyros, people makes up for it. This time, you needed to have great matches, important matches, but thankfully then we got a Raw Women's title match. I say thankfully because it's an important rivalry. It was actually rumored to be the main event. Thankfully it wasn't though, because the match itself was, I would not say terrible, it wasn't good either. The highlight for me was actually the beginning. You know, you could hear every hit from Shayna Baszler and Becky Lynch. And I thought, okay, this is the type of match we are going to get. Some MMA style. But that wasn't really the case, man. It was business as usual and it just got worse and worse in my opinion. Or at least I lost interest. But I was still hoping that Shayna Baszler would win the championship. Well, that didn't really happen. We got that Baszler submission, Becky flips back and turns it into the 3 count out of nowhere to retain the championship. Again, this is a big rivalry and you decided to end this match at WrestleMania with a roll-up, kinda. Come on, dude. I mean, at the end of the day, it does mean that Baszler is getting a title shot in the future, I understand that, but this is WrestleMania. If the match is going to end in a BS way, make sure it's a bit more entertaining. Then we got so far the best match on the card, WWE Intercontinental Championship match, Daniel Bryan versus Sami Zayn. By the best match on the card, I'm talking about these 4 or 3 matches that I've just talked about. So this was the Intercontinental Championship match. We got, you know, Drew Gulak, we got Shinsuke Nakamura, Cesaro. This was, in my opinion, a decent match because it obviously featured Sami Zayn and Daniel Bryan. The match was itself pretty good, but for me the highlight is actually Sami Zayn wrestling again, looking like a toddler, an angry toddler throwing tantrums. The finish was good, yet pretty confusing in a way. Surprisingly, Sami Zayn retained the championship with a catching Helluva kick, which looked interesting. Not quite sure whether I liked it or not, but that was your match. Sami Zayn retains the title. Don't get me wrong, people. It's not like I hate these matches. I'm just telling you how it is, how I felt about them. It's not a lot that WWE could have done. I'm just saying that the structure of the card, in my opinion, was very bad. We should have gotten the ladder match first, then some weaker match, then another important match. Maybe that was the problem. Then we got a triple threat ladder match for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Kofi versus Jimmy versus John. What do you mean the great one? Tag Team titles? Only 3 men? Yes. That's what we got. Unfortunately, I think The Miz got injured. And they decided to go with the triple threat match, which is good. Honestly, I don't know, maybe I should not say this. Yes, I wish it was a tag team match because it makes sense, but this one, maybe, I don't think the tag team match would have been just as good as this one. This was very good. You know, not too many people in the ring, and Kofi was amazing, John Morrison was amazing, Uso was amazing. What a great match. This was, if we're not counting the main event, this was the best match of the night. Again, this match made me forget that there's no audience. We got so many great spots, painful spots, and the finish was also very good. We got very weird finishes tonight, but this one I enjoyed. So basically we got all 3 men fighting for the championships. John Morrison falls on the ladder, but he gets the titles, so he wins the match. And then we see Kofi and Uso just, you know, shocked. So that was so far the highlight of the show, and I gotta be honest, people, I'm very, very happy that John Morrison retained the titles because I want this title reign to be just a little bit longer. Like I said, I'm tired of the Usos. The New Day had its day, let's be honest. So I'm very glad with the match, I'm glad with the finish. That was the highlight of the show so far, but of course we're still gonna talk about the main event. Then we got Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. This match surprised the hell out of me as well. First of all, what an attire. I love this. I really want Seth Rollins to come out with this attire every single Raw. He's a messiah and he looked like a messiah. I love this. Now the first match we got, and I'm saying first because we got a rematch, was a normal match. It was decent, you know, I wasn't really that excited because like I've said many times before, I didn't like the rivalry that much, but it was good for what it was. Anyway, Seth Rollins decides to get disqualified. He hits Kevin Owens with a bell, but Kevin Owens has none of it. He picks up the microphone and says that this is not how we are going to end it tonight. Let's have a rematch. No disqualification, Seth Rollins accepts, and this is when things got interesting. I think someone hit someone with a bell, I think it was Kevin Owens, And of course, the highlight was this. So basically, Kevin Owens says, what about this for a WrestleMania highlight? He climbs the WrestleMania sign and jumps on Seth Rollins through the announce table. And the best thing about it, it worked perfectly. The impact couldn't be any better. I would say, if we're not counting the main event because it was technically not even a match, this was the second best match of the night. It wasn't that impressive, but the moment is very memorable. We got a 24/7 title segment, which was pretty disappointing, very simple, honestly. You know, R-Truth tried to hide, but got hit by Gronk, and Mojo Rawley pinned him, and Gronk and Mojo are not friends anymore. It was, honestly, I expected better from R-Truth, and I wish they wrote something for him more important. There is no audience, and you don't have R-Truth being surprised. There's no audience making jokes about it, saying what's up and no one responds. It's so easy. It's so easy and we didn't get that. Then we got the WWE Universal title match. I have some good things to say about it. I have some bad things to say about it. First of all, yes, none of us were really that excited about the match. We knew that Goldberg is going to win anyway. Okay, this might be an unpopular opinion. I was really impressed by Goldberg. Not that he had different moves or anything, but he was very quick during this match, and I actually made a joke, you know, with me and my wife were watching the pay-per-view. I said, they shot this match for 2 hours, with 5-minute breaks after every move. But obviously that wasn't the case, man. Goldberg was very quick, it felt like he was younger, and I liked it. The issue is, of course, it was finisher after finisher, finisher after finisher. No one is selling anything. We got a bunch of, power slam, power bombs, whatever it's called, from Braun Strowman. And nothing worked. And then he pinned him out of nowhere with his finisher. But it was like, okay, this time it worked. And Braun Strowman is your new Universal Champion. And that honestly shocked me the most during the pay-per-view. I was shocked. Yeah, that's the best way to describe it. Braun Strowman won the championship, and it's so funny to me. You know, when people absolutely loved Braun Strowman, when he was red hot with the WWE Universe, people loved this guy. I just said WWE Universe, and I hate myself. Fans, let's keep it to fans. Everyone liked Braun Strowman. Everyone. And he was actually pushed, he looked like a strong guy. And they didn't give him the championship. He had like 50 title opportunities, never won a single title. Major championship. Now, once people don't care about Braun Strowman, once he lost all the matches against every jobber imaginable, not really, but you get the point, and people don't like Braun Strowman anymore because of the comments he made on Instagram, about indie wrestlers finding new jobs. This is when they decided to give the championship to Braun Strowman. I don't know, man. I still don't think he's a bad guy. I just think he just made some stupid comments, maybe had a bad day. And I'm pretty sure he's still a great guy because from what it seems, he's a nice dude. And I'm pretty sure you saw that as well and you changed your opinion and you're surprised. I'm pretty sure it was just a bad day. So I'm trying to be happy for Braun Strowman and I hope he's going to be a great champion. But I'm just saying that I don't want to get my hopes up because I said the same thing when he won the Intercontinental Championship and it was just a disaster. I don't want to say this, but in a way I was hoping that Goldberg would retain the championship. If he won the championship, it's already ruined. Bray Wyatt is not a champion anymore, which is funny, right? They wanted Goldberg versus Reigns, they didn't get that, so they wasted Bray Wyatt for nothing. I wanted Goldberg to win the match because I expected a longer title reign, because this way, if you gave the championship to Goldberg, at least we got something out of it. Ratings and Goldberg being a champion, building the title, more Goldberg dream matches, at least that. But now it's just for nothing. Absolutely nothing, it was wasted. Like, tell me, people, what was the point of Goldberg winning the championship? It achieved nothing at all. Absolutely nothing. Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman to me sounds more interesting because these two were a tag team. Anyway, man, whatever, let's continue with the show. Then we got the Boneyard match, and excuse me, people, I'm not going to remember everything because so much happened during this match, but oh boy, I just want to let you know that I I loved it. 10 out of 10. We hear the Undertaker's music, we see a car. We were expecting the Undertaker, but it was AJ Styles, and we hear AJ's music, he's laughing. All of this stuff reminds me of, Ultimate Deletion, Matt Hardy crap that he did, Lovely stuff, man, lovely stuff. Now, I expected the Undertaker to have multiple gimmicks, and I was just slightly disappointed that we didn't really get that. Even though we didn't get that visually. The Undertaker didn't change his appearance, but it was still absolutely amazing. So, what surprised me is that right off the bat, we got the Undertaker with a motorcycle. He was blasting some rock music, he was ready for the match. He had a bandana, he had his vest, and the guy looked absolutely amazing, American badass, and he talked like a normal human being, by the way. It's so difficult for me to review this match because so much stuff happened, man. I'm just gonna tell you my experience instead of pointing every single thing that happened during this match. I'm gonna show you some pictures, but basically, I loved this match because it was cinematic, first of all, and that's what WrestleMania should be when there's no audience. I believe WWE nailed it, and I'm very shocked that WWE did this in such a short amount of time. It felt like a movie. And it's not like AJ Styles looked weak, man. Like, he had the upper hand for the majority of the match. He was beating the crap out of the Undertaker. And we had this, sad scene of the Undertaker being beaten, and it's kind of sad. We also, by the way, got Lou Gallows and Carl Anderson. We got a bunch of these druids, whatever. I don't know, man. And Undertaker beats the crap. Visually, it looked absolutely unbelievable. Dude, this was way better than expected. By the way, let's get back to the Undertaker looking sad. He was about to get buried. But then, out of nowhere, I expected, honestly, the Undertaker coming back with his, dead man gimmick, but that's not necessarily what we got. In a way, we did, because we saw the Undertaker behind AJ Styles. That was really special. So he was kind of using every gimmick he had. They were also fighting on the roof, which was very good. We got Tombstone to, I think, Lou Gallows. One of the highlights was actually, for me, the magic. He had this fire, behind AJ Styles, just like Kane does. Wow, man. We got a chokeslam off the roof to the floor to AJ Styles. Undertaker was like, we're just starting, buddy. We're just starting. What's my wife's name? What I'm trying to say is this was very good. You know what I'm talking about. Sorry that I cannot point out every single thing because so much happened, man. So much. The ending was very good as well. AJ Styles was basically begging for the Undertaker to stop. He was crying, I think. Undertaker was like, okay, man, that was a great fight, great job. But then we got a big boot into the hole and we got the Undertaker dumping the load of dirt. Another highlight was the Undertaker removing a cover of the tombstone and it says AJ Styles 1977-2020 with a rest in peace message. And this right here, man, all of this. Like, Undertaker is such a badass, man. I love this. He can be 70. If he can do what he did right here, I want to see more Undertaker's matches. Makes me think, what if we got Undertaker versus Sting in this kind of match? Where you don't really need to have a lot of wrestling ability. And I gotta say, people, this image right here, for me, is this year's WrestleMania. This was the highlight. And I don't know if anything tonight can top that. And I do like Undertaker breaking the character. Everyone wanted American Badass to return at some point. Right now, you get both at the same time. It says that there's a man behind the Undertaker who still has the powers, but he's playing the character. He's also a normal guy who has a wife. I like that. Very good story. And that was, if that's your last Undertaker's match, I'm okay with it, but I'm also okay if it's not the last match. The question is, what is going to happen with AJ Styles? I really hope that he's not gonna be like, I lost against the Undertaker last week on WrestleMania on Raw. I really hope it's not gonna happen. Like 2 or 3 weeks break and he's back on Raw. I really hope it's not happening. If he is coming back to Raw, I really hope it's something different, a different gimmick, or I don't know, man. I don't know how WWE are going to handle it. And I don't even think that AJ Styles losing is a bad idea. Undertaker should have won that match, and that's exactly what we got. And the finish was great, just for that image, at the end of the pay-per-view, Undertaker with a motorcycle. That was the highlight for me. What people don't understand is that this could be AJ's last match in the WWE, because he said many times before he wants to stop wrestling and start, living his life with his family. And it could be as soon as 2020 or 21. And maybe this was a way to write AJ Styles off television. It's pretty sad, but if that's the case, what a way to do it. Anyway, people, what a great show. I don't know if I should give it a rating, probably not, but I just want to say that this ending was 10 out of 10. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow. The great one, peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.